Welcome to Crime Tales, where we uncover the darkest secrets and the chilling stories of betrayal and loss. Tonight, we tell the story of Jessica Patel, a young woman whose life was taken in a horrifying act of deception and greed. This is a case of trust shattered by the one person who was supposed to protect her. Let's unravel the events that led to Jessica's tragic murder. Jessica Patel was a 34-year-old pharmacist, known for her kindness and dedication. Raised in a loving family in Yorkshire, Jessica dreamed of building a life filled with love, purpose, and family. In 2009, she married Mitesh Patel, and the couple moved to Middlesbrough, where they ran a pharmacy together. To her friends and family, Jessica appeared to be living a dream life. She was successful, intelligent, and surrounded by a supportive community. But behind closed doors, Jessica's marriage was far from the loving partnership she had envisioned. Jessica's marriage to Mitesh Patel was riddled with control and manipulation. While Jessica worked tirelessly to support their business and home, Mitesh harbored secrets that would eventually lead to devastating consequences. Unbeknownst to Jessica, Mitesh was leading a double life. He was involved in multiple affairs with men, one of whom he referred to as his soulmate. Despite this, he pressured Jessica to undergo IVF treatments, not out of a desire to build a family, but to use her as a means to create a child he could raise with his lover. Jessica's friends later described her as a woman who suffered in silence, trapped in a relationship where love had been replaced by control and deceit. On May 14, 2018, Jessica went to work as usual at the pharmacy she and Mitesh owned. The day seemed unremarkable, but what Jessica didn't know was that her husband had been planning her murder for months. That evening, the couple returned home to their house on the avenue in Linthorpe. At around 8:15 p.m., Mitesh attacked Jessica, strangling her with a plastic bag. The act was cold, calculated, and fueled by greed. Once Jessica was dead, Mitesh staged the scene to make it appear as though their home had been burgled. Mitesh called the police, claiming he had come home to find Jessica unresponsive and their house ransacked. He told officers he had been out for a walk during the attack, creating an alibi he hoped would deflect suspicion. But detectives quickly noticed inconsistencies. There were no signs of forced entry, and the supposed burglary appeared staged. Jessica's body was found in the living room, and the evidence at the scene didn't match Mitesh's version of events. Mitesh Patel's plan to murder Jessica was as calculated as it was cold. For months, he had been researching how to end his wife's life and get away with it. His digital trail painted a chilling picture of a man meticulously plotting the murder of someone who loved and trusted him unconditionally. Mitesh's internet search history included queries such as, how to stage a burglary? How long does it take to strangle someone? Easiest way to kill your wife? These searches revealed not just a premeditated act, but a complete lack of remorse or hesitation. For Mitesh, Jessica's life was nothing more than an obstacle standing between him and his desires. Even more damning was his activity on dating apps. Mitesh had been actively messaging men about starting a new life in Australia, boasting about the financial windfall he would receive after Jessica's death. He even inquired about using IVF embryos stored at a clinic to have children with his lover. Once Jessica was dead, Mitesh began staging the scene to look like a burglary. He ransacked the house, deliberately creating disarray, and then called the police with a fabricated story. But his act was riddled with inconsistencies that investigators quickly picked apart. In October 2018, Mitesh Patel stood trial for the murder of his wife. The prosecution argued that Mitesh saw Jessica as an obstacle to his desires, a woman he could discard for financial gain and personal freedom. The jury heard how Mitesh had manipulated Jessica for years, pressuring her into IVF treatments while living a secret life. The evidence was overwhelming. From his internet searches to CCTV footage that contradicted his alibi, Mitesh's guilt was undeniable. As quoted by prosecution, Jessica Patel was a woman whose only crime was loving a man who did not deserve her. Her life was taken by someone who valued money and selfish desires over her existence. On December 5, 2018, Mitesh Patel was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 30 years. The judge condemned him as a cold and calculating killer who had betrayed the trust of his wife and the sanctity of marriage. For Jessica's family, the verdict brought a measure of justice, but could never erase the pain of their loss. Her sister, Divya, described Jessica as a selfless woman who deserved so much more than the betrayal she endured. The murder of Jessica Patel is a stark reminder of how manipulation and deceit can escalate into unimaginable tragedy. Her story highlights the importance of speaking out against abuse, even when it's hidden behind closed doors. Jessica's family continues to honor her memory, advocating for victims of domestic violence and encouraging others to seek help before it's too late. Her life, though cut short, serves as a powerful call for awareness and action. This has been the story of Jessica Patel, a life stolen by greed and betrayal, but remembered for her kindness and strength. If you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, know that help is available. Let us know your thoughts on this case in the comments below. Thank you for watching Crime Tales. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of heartbreak and justice. Until next time, stay safe.